In this video, we're going to look at a very specific but quite useful little technique, and that's simplifying expressions in the form e to the something I theta plus or minus e to the something I theta. Now, this is related to what we've seen before about simplifying or finding expressions for things like z plus 1 over z. It's just really useful to recognize it in exponential form and think about where we can use it. So if we take this, e to the I theta plus e to the minus I theta, of course, that is the same as this if e to the I theta is z. So if we have a complex number with an argument of, with a modulus of 1, and then another complex number with just the negative argument but the same modulus, this is the same as z plus 1 over z. And to really spell it out, it's a reminder really, e to the I theta is cos theta plus I sine theta, and then e to the minus I theta is cos theta minus I sine theta. And that's because cos of minus theta is the same as cos theta, and sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. And of course, this gives us 2 cos theta. So it's the same result as this, it just looks a little different. Similarly, this one is just the same as our z minus 1 over z result, and recall that that is 2I sine theta. So why is this so important? Well, there are some topics we're going to look at, including sums of series, where we get this sort of thing appearing, but sometimes in a slightly disguised way. So I'm going to show you just two little additional things, and we'll look at the disguised version. So these ones here, this is just the same as our z to the n plus 1 over z to the n, and recall that that was just the same as 2 cos n theta. And then when it's minus, that was the same as our z to the n minus 1 over z to the n result, and that was 2I sine n theta. Okay, here's why you need to recognize these things. Sometimes we need to simplify things like this, e to the 2I theta plus 1. Well, how does that relate to what we had before? Well, notice that what we had before always involved a positive version and a negative version, and positive and negatives are the same thing. So in both cases, it's ni theta and minus ni theta, and the same here. In this case, we don't have that, but we can force the issue by cleverly factorizing out a particular value. In this case, if I force out a factor of e to the I theta, what I'm left with is e to the I theta plus e to the minus I theta. Because look, e to the I theta times e to the I theta is e to the 2I theta, and e to the I theta times e to the minus I theta is 1. And what we have in here is 2 cos theta. So I have e to the I theta, and I have 2 cos theta. Now, think about why this is useful. We'll really come on to this later on in the course, but just as a little spoiler here, the reason why this is so useful is the e to the I theta part. That is a complex number with a modulus of 1. And then what we have here is a purely real number. So if this has a modulus of 1 and we scale it up by a real number, what we have is a complex number with a modulus of 2 cos theta. So we actually have the modulus here, 2 cos theta, and the argument here, theta. So it's basically a sneaky way to figure out what modulus and argument actually are. Have a look at this example here and take a think about what you could force factorize out to give it a form a bit like this. In this case, we can pull out a factor, force out a factor of e to the I theta over 2. Because what does that give us? Well, it gives us e to the I theta over 2 minus e to the minus I theta over 2. Do you see? E to the I theta over 2 times e to the I theta over 2 is e to the I theta, and then e to the I theta over 2 times e to the minus I theta over 2 gives us just 1 and the negative there. And this inside the bracket here, well, that is 2I sine of theta over 2. So what we have is e to the I theta over 2. And then in the bracket here, it's 2I sine theta over 2. Now in this case, it's not quite as simple as just here's the modulus and here's the argument, because this is obviously an imaginary number. But we can still reason that this I doesn't actually affect the modulus of it, because the modulus of I is just 1. And we can see that the modulus, therefore, of this is 2 sine theta over 2. So this is quite a powerful result and really, really useful to be able to do this. Let's have a look at a couple more examples. Maybe you can pause the video and see if you can figure this out for yourself. Okay, so we're aiming for something that I factorize out that leaves me with something in the bracket where the power here and the power here are negatives of each other. I can see that these are 2 apart, right? 5 and 3 are 2 apart. So the positive and negative values which are 2 apart are 1 and minus 1. So if I want there to be a 1 I theta here, I'm going to have to pull out an e to the 4 I theta. What's left is e to the I theta minus e to the minus I theta. 4 I theta plus I theta is 5 I theta, 4 I theta minus I theta is 3 I theta. And in the bracket there is 2I sine theta. And again, we've now got a simple case where we have the modulus. Since the modulus of this bit is 1 and the modulus of I is 1, the modulus is 2 sine theta. The argument isn't quite theta because the I affects that a little bit, but we can deal with that when we need to. The point is we've separated it out into something we can get a modulus from and something we can kind of figure out an argument from. How about this one? Bit trickier, but the gap between the 2 and the minus 3 is 5. So the positive and negative numbers that are 5 apart are 2.5 and minus 2.5. So if I want this one to be 2.5, I'm going to need to factorize out e to the minus I theta over 2. Why is that? Because that leaves me with e to the 2.5, or let's say 5 I theta over 2. Right, that plus that is 2, and e to the minus 5I theta over 2, because minus I theta over 2 minus another 5I theta over 2 is minus 3I theta. So what have we got? We've got e to the minus I theta over 2, and in the bracket here is 2 cos 5 theta over 2. And in this case, we really do have modulus here. That's just a real number. And the argument is minus theta over 2, because here's just a complex number with a modulus of 1 and an argument of minus theta over 2. So it's a very specific little algebraic trick there, but it's going to be really, really useful. So have a little practice on that, and then we'll see it crop up again later on in the course. Okay, that's all for now. See you in the next video.